right now on 5 on your side at 10.
A wind advisory tomorrow is triggering a weather alert day. How high those winds will gust.
And tonight, sticker shock as Missourians open their property tax bills this year. The I-Team reports on the efforts to stop it from spiking again. But first tonight, a woman's Christmas shopping turns into a thief's car shopping.
The bad guys are probably parked 2 or 3 cars from you.
What happened in the Galleria parking lot in the middle of the afternoon, and tips to keep you safe.
Good evening, I'm Mike Bush. Ann Allred has the night off. Tonight, a warning to holiday shoppers to be extra vigilant. This after a thief knocked a woman down in the Galleria parking lot and stole her car. Our Laura Barczewski is live tonight at the Galleria with advice from experts on staying safe. Laura.
Mike, the first tip might seem pretty obvious, but it's a good reminder. Don't be looking at your phone when you walk out of the store. It's just another way that they can get to you, and always be aware of your surroundings. In a statement, Richmond Heights Police Chief Jerry Rohr says this afternoon in the Galleria Mall parking lot, a woman was pushed to the ground while getting in her car. The thief then jumped in her car and took off. Chief Rohr would not call this a carjacking, saying they're investigating this case as a robbery. Michael Barberi, a safety expert with Global Intelligence, says while we don't know all the details, it's important to do what you can to stay safe.
The most important thing to do is kind of look around. Make sure that nobody is following you. Make sure nobody's walking in the general direction of your car. Once you get in your car, it's a great idea to lock the car.
Barberi says a lot of problems in shopping center parking lots are crimes of opportunity, urging people to keep things out of sight.
They call them smash and grabs. So they'll walk up to the window, they'll smash the window, open the door, and then they'll look through your glove compartment. They'll look to see if there's, a wallet or a purse somewhere around, grab that, and then they leave.
De Pere Police Chief Eric Hall says they've been amping up security at West County Center during the busy shopping season, providing 2 to 3 officers on site.
We have recently put in service a firearms detection canine unit. That's simply a dog that detects firearms inside West County Center to make sure that we're doing everything we can to keep the center safe.
Hall says if you see anyone suspicious, you can always go back in the mall or store.
You can call security or the police department to walk you out to your vehicle. If you're approaching at your vehicle, the best thing to do is, unfortunately, is to be compliant, or if you can enter your vehicle and lock the door as soon as possible and call 911.
Now, if you have any other tips, you can always tell us those, but both of those safety experts say that you should park in well-lit areas, avoid those dimly lit garages, and again, stay off your phone. Reporting live in Richmond Heights, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Well, a chilly night for Blues fans leaving Enterprise Center tonight, but warm winds are blowing into town. Those gusty winds are prompting a weather first alert day for tomorrow. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott to tell us what to expect.
Yes, we're already seeing a little bit of a breeze out there, Mike, right now, and that's helping to keep that temperature up to about 41 degrees. But I've noticed in the last hour, those gusts to 20 miles an hour have subsided a little bit. They'll pick back up again tomorrow, and here is the wind advisory, widespread from noon until 9 p.m. So that weather alert day for that reason. So the wind gust to 45 miles an hour. It's an east-west travel that's going to be very difficult because the wind is out of the south and it moves north. So Interstate 70, that's going to be a tough go. And hold on to those steering wheels, of course. Scattered power outages can't be ruled out. And a little bit of cold air back behind it. I'll let you know when that happens. And that weekend forecast coming up in just a bit, Mike.
All right, Jim, we'll see you then. Tonight, 3 people are in jail in connection to the death of a toddler from a fentanyl overdose. It happened last month at an apartment complex in North St. Louis County. Our Robert Townsend joins us now with reaction from neighbors and a man who heard that child's cries.
Mike, the toddler who died was only 21 months old. Now, police have not told us the relationship between the baby girl and the 3 adults who are now charged. I can tell you this, one neighbor is now heartbroken.
She was so respectful and so nice and so loving.
This woman says her little neighbor, Lalana Leak, was a precious, happy child who touched so many at this North St. Louis County apartment complex. Everyone here called the child Lily.
She was so adorable. Like every time she see you, she'll say, "Hi, how you doing?" And then when you get ready to go, she'll say, "Bye."
But now,
I just wouldn't even believe it because they was with her every day.
She tears up after she heard the toddler is tragically gone. on.
She just learned how to walk and talk.
Police say nearly 3 weeks ago, they went to this home on Northport Hills Drive in Florissant to check out a sick call. Officers went inside, found the child unconscious, and rushed her to a hospital. But investigators say the toddler later died of a fentanyl overdose.
I seen the mom come out and I could hear her go, they didn't even tell me where they're taking her.
Contractor Tony Cook says he was painting on the family's building when he also heard the child crying.
I heard like a mocking of the baby crying, like another girl crying along with her, going, and then I heard, no, no, no. Then I heard that she had died, and it was just terrible.
Prosecutors charged Amanda Tufts, James Collins, and Lori Garrett with several charges, including endangering the welfare of a child. According to charging documents, during the investigation, detectives discovered a large amount of drug paraphernalia and powder throughout the home, as well as capsules. They also found firearms in the home. Investigators say another toddler-aged child was also in the home.
She was a little cute, little blonde-headed, and I liked her so much.
Terrible thing, man. I love kids.
Now, police say the suspects knew the child had taken fentanyl but did not seek medical attention. They also tell us the other toddler in the home was healthy.
Robert, thanks. Tonight, St. Louis police are investigating a homicide at a former homeless camp north of downtown. A man was found dead last night on Hadley Street Road, north of Cass Avenue. He had been shot several times. Anyone with information is urged to call Crime Stoppers at 866-371-TIPS. Tonight, the Illinois House of Representatives approved changes to the controversial SAFETY Act. Illinois becomes the first state in the nation to abolish cash bail. That'll happen on New Year's Day. Republicans hammered Democrats for vague language in the original version of the new law. The amended bill allows judges to keep felony suspects who are a flight risk or a danger to the community behind bars. Governor Pritzker's office says he will sign it into law. State's attorneys challenging this law get their day in court next week. 3 former St. Louis aldermen will be sentenced next week on bribery charges. Tonight, they're asking a judge for a second chance. This comes just days after photos were released in sentencing documents showing them accepting thousands of dollars in bribes. Attorneys for Louis Reed, Jeffrey Boyd, and John Collins Mohammed are arguing their clients don't deserve jail time. St. Louis University law professor Anders Walker says whatever happens, it will send a message to all elected officials.
The feds are looking at what they're doing, and they need to stay on the right side of the law.
Sentencing hearings for all 3 of the men are scheduled for next Tuesday. Many Missouri taxpayers got a big shock when they received their personal property tax bill. They're up by record amounts. Tonight, the I-Team's Paula Bassan explains how state officials are working to prevent an increase like this from happening again.
If you live in Missouri and you've got a car, you're likely feeling a bigger strain on your bank account.
The amount we paid last year was $732.72.
Kevin McCauley is paying about $124 more in personal property taxes for the 3 cars he had last year. Count the car he recently replaced with a newer one. His bill went up by about $1,100.
We still have 3 kids in college.
He says taxes on his cars have never been higher.
Cut back on Christmas, dining out, investing in our home. We've held off doing certain things.
It's why Steve Hobbs with the Missouri Association of Counties says he's working with the governor and other lawmakers around the state. He wants to give taxpayers some protection. An option on the table, allowing tax assessors to adjust for inflation and ultimately help lower tax bills.
I think we need to give the folks that are doing this job a few more tools in their toolbox to look at that and say, look, we know this is an anomaly and it's going to go back down. Why should it spike up one year and drop the next?
It's because over the last year, we've seen a nationwide spike in the value of the most common type of personal property, cars. Missouri's tax commission blames supply chain issues, chip shortages, and record high inflation caused by the pandemic. It also boils down to some math. In Missouri, local tax rates are applied to 1/3 of your car's value. When the car's value goes up, your tax bill does too.
So more of that car's value is taxable, which means those bills are going to increase a lot more as well.
Janelle Fritz is with the Tax Foundation, a tax policy research group in Washington, D.C.
Does there need to be a cap? So yes, anything that you can do in order to keep those bills from increasing as much would be a good idea.
Some states are doing just that. Next year, Connecticut will start capping rates on personal property taxes for vehicles. Virginia and Mississippi have funds that help lower payments. Rhode Island will get rid of personal property taxes on cars in 2023. Hobbs doesn't want to do away with personal property taxes. Looking at his own bill, his money is going to areas he cares about.
77% of this goes to my local school district.
He wants Missouri tax law to change so people like Macaulay aren't scrambling.
It would have been nice to have a gradual increase, but that wasn't the case. It was a surprise.
Macaulay just hopes next year is more predictable.
If you think your personal property assessment is wrong, you can appeal to the Missouri State Tax Commission. A spokesperson there tells me they handle up to 20,000 appeals every year. You can find out how to file an appeal on our website, ksdk.com. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan.
And a reminder, personal property taxes are due by December 31st. After that, you face a late penalty and interest. Right now, mental health professionals are standing by to take your call. Project 5 and Behavioral Health Response are teaming up to provide mental health counseling. Just call the number on your screen, 314-469-6644, and someone will be there to pick up your call until 10:30.
Economic crisis averted. The bipartisan bill stopping a rail strike in its tracks. The unlikely alliance between a Missouri Republican and progressive Democrats. Going home for the holidays. Should you fly or drive? Tonight, our Verify team is helping you find the best route.
Windy and warmer for Friday, followed by a Saturday slide in temperatures. Details coming up.
Tonight, the White House hosted its first state dinner in 3 years. President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden welcomed French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife. Tonight's guest list included big names from politics and Hollywood. The dinner follows high-profile meetings between the two leaders. Tonight, a potential economic crisis averted. The U.S. Senate has passed a House bill imposing a labor deal to avoid a nationwide freight rail strike. But the Democrat-led amendment to mandate paid sick leave fell 8 votes shy of the 60 needed for passage. And Missouri Republican Josh Hawley voted in favor of paid sick leave, but against the bill.
You're going to vote for the Bernie Sanders amendment? Aren't you guys interfering here in the negotiation? That's what a lot of your Republicans are saying.
The whole law interferes in the negotiation.
On the one hand, we don't want to shut down the economy. On the other, we don't want to say to rail workers, if you have a heart attack or you break your leg, you either show up to work or you're going to lose your job.
Senator Roy Blunt voted for the bill, but against paid sick leave. Some estimate a rail strike would have cost the U.S. economy $1 billion a day in the first week. The holiday travel season comes after a year of high gas prices and widespread flight cancellations. And tonight, our Verify team is looking into what you need to know before hitting the roads or skies. Here's Abby Larico.
It's one of the great holiday travel conundrums, when to drive and when to fly. So let's verify, how do you determine what route to take? We looked at several sources to learn about the factors to consider, like how many people are traveling with you. AAA's Paula Twydale says those going alone or couples might have an easier time flying than a family or larger group, where driving might be more cost effective. But don't forget to include costs of rental cars, parking, additional baggage fees, and even pet sitting when tallying a trip.
And I always say, do the math.
2022 has been a hectic year for travel, with high gas prices and widespread flight cancellations, but Twydale says that's all less of a factor than it has been. If you're still feeling the heat after those pricey summer road trips, the Energy Information Administration reports U.S. gas prices have cooled to reflect more typical costs for this time of year.
I think it's going to bode well for us during this holiday season. You'll see some improvements.
You can calculate an estimated gas price for the fuel ahead. AAA tracks fuel costs by county nationwide, so you can plan your pit stops. Overbooked flights and staffing shortages led to headaches for airline passengers this summer, but industry group Airlines for America describes boosted efforts to hire crew members. And data from analytics firm Cirium shows several major carriers have announced schedule adjustments to avoid last-minute cancellations. And consider how much time you have to get where you're going. With AAA tracking major travel on the roads this holiday season and the Federal Aviation Administration anticipating a jump in Christmas air travel, build in some extra time for extra people.
Plan ahead.
Winter weather is less predictable. Twidell says she anticipates that to be the biggest factor that could throw off our travel plans. In other words, it's more like travel was before the pandemic. With your Verify, I'm Abby Larico.
What would you like us to verify? Send us an email to verify@ksdk.com. The holidays have arrived at Scott Air Force Base. Tonight they had a Christmas tree lighting. Military members and their families also got to take home a Christmas tree. Nearly 300 fresh farm-grown trees were provided by Trees for Troops, FedEx Freight, and the Christmas Spirit Foundation. Organizers say this gives our troops a big boost.
Just giving a free Christmas tree, just saying here, a symbol of the season, maybe that can boost your spirit, and we know that it does. We know it has a positive impact because they tell us. It makes them feel better. It makes them feel supported. It makes them know that people are thinking about them.
Tonight's celebration also included photos with Santa and other family holiday activities. Rock Spring Park in Alton has been transformed into a Christmas wonderland. A group of retirees known as the Grandpa Gang put up more than 4 million lights. It's open every night through late December. If you want to check out the display, the gang asks for a $7 donation per car, and money raised goes to charity and next year's display. And for more holiday light displays and events around St. Louis, just text the word holiday to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a list. Well, tomorrow is a weather alert day. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight, and he has your weather first forecast. Wind will be the big problem, right, Jim?
Very much so. So any holiday decorations, anchor them down for sure. Tomorrow, some of those gusts as high as 45 miles an hour. So today, December 1st, here we go. One more month left of 2022. So meteorological winter began today and goes all the way to the end of February. It is mild tomorrow. We're near 60, but that wind comes with it. And that high today was about 44. 23, though, to start this morning off. Very chilly. 49 and 32 are the averages. And of course, we were dry today. Started out with sunshine. Now clouds are rolling in. 41 degrees because that wind has been up. It's south at about 13. Had some gust over 20 miles an hour during the evening. And so overnight lows tonight, not as cold as they were this morning, down in the 30s and above freezing in most spots. And here is a warm front just on the doorstep. High pressure to our east, low pressure developing in the Rocky Mountains, so that wind field will develop right over us. And we have strong upper level wind too. And some of that's going to try to mix down to the surface tomorrow. And so that wind advisory begins at noon, goes till 9 p.m. And within that, those wind gusts up to 45 miles an hour sustained tomorrow, 20 to 25 miles an hour. Out of the south, moving north, so that's why we're going to get really mild too, very close to 60, and a lot of cloud cover also. Then very late in the evening hours, probably before midnight, a chance of a scattered light shower, probably 1/100th of an inch of rainfall. That's it with it, and then it moves out. We clear up on Saturday. Most of Sunday is looking dry at this point, but we're watching several systems just to the south of us, and so we'll be watching that. Now Saturday's high again clearing up. 39 after tomorrow's 59. Then on Sunday, just watching a little bit of a system, especially in our southern counties, may start out as a little bit of a mix, shouldn't be an issue. Monday's a day where rain showers become more likely and we get a little milder again. So tomorrow 59, there it is, that weather alert day in orange for the wind gust to 45 miles an hour. Maybe a late evening shower. Then on Saturday clearing up 43, a little bit breezy still. Then on Sunday, 48, and an isolated shower, especially south, and it could be mixed in the morning, shouldn't be an issue. Monday, rain showers, 54, and then Tuesday, that comes to an end. We're staying in the 40s, and by next weekend, Mike, we should be in the 30s for highs, so getting colder.
Yeah, well, we're in December now.
Yes.
All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is off tonight. Holden Kerwicki is next with sports.
Well, Mike, the Blues' second period woes continued tonight against Carolina, but find out if it was too much for the team to overcome. Next in sports.
And once again, 5 on Your Side is teamed up with the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the Little Wishes campaign. We still have more than 2,400 wishes to grant to area foster kids. Just go to ksdk.com/littlewishes to purchase a gift.
All week long, the Blues and Coach Craig Berube talked about the need for more consistent play. They got that tonight, but it's not exactly a good thing. The Note would race out to a 2-goal lead early in the second period after birthday boy Noah Kari gives himself a present with this goal. And that might be where we should stop the highlights because the wheels would come off after that. The Blues would allow Carolina to score not 1, not 2, but 3 goals in 64 seconds in the second period to take a 3-2 lead. That's the 5th straight game they've given up 3 in a period. The Torrey Krug goal would tie it at 3, but the Canes would score 3 goals in the third period as well on their way to the 6-4 win. After the game, Coach Berube said his team looked shell-shocked after the rapid-fire second period.
Well, it's going to zap you a bit for sure, but the power play came through tonight. I thought they did a good job, but we need more guys to step it up. That's basically what it boils down to.
This weekend, 4 local schools will be playing for a state championship on the gridiron, and that includes Cardinal Ritter. While we're used to Ritter competing for championships on the hardwood, Saturday the Lions football team will be making its first ever appearance in the state championship game. After losing in the state semis the past 2 seasons, the Lions finally got over the hump by hanging 54 points on Pleasant Hill last week. Coach Brennan Spain says his kids trust the process, so we pushed him to explain exactly what that means.
To this point, it's just having the players to believe in the leadership, for them to believe in me that I will be able to put them in a position so they can get to the state championship game. These guys have done everything I asked them to do. These guys have prepared. These guys have prepped. They did everything I asked them to do from off season to on season. So right now they just ready to cash out, if that makes sense. They just ready to be rewarded for all the hard work they have put in.
Football may be in its last weekend, but prep basketball is just getting started. Incarnate Word playing Villa Duchesne, and the Red Knights on the break. Natalie Potts going to drop in the easy 2. They'd get back on defense. They'd take the ball away, and Peyton Hill going to go coast to coast for the lay-in. Incarnate wins their season opener going away. Trinity's Ryan Kalkbrenner and number 7 Creighton playing at number 2 Texas. And it was a nice game for the big fella. Coming off the pick and roll here. He's going to roll down to the basket and throw it in for 2. He would have a game-high 20 on 9 for 10 shooting, but the Blue Jays were playing from behind in the final minute. Kalkbrenner boxed off the rebound. The Longhorns bring it all the way down. Tyrese Hunter going to get the lay-in. Texas goes on to win 72-67. That's Creighton's first loss of the season. Week 13 of the NFL kicked off in New England, and with the Bills and Patriots, Josh Allen's going to roll out in the second quarter, managed to stay in bounds. Watch as he finds Gabe Davis for the touchdown. The Bills led 17-7 at the half. But Bill Belichick would try and keep it close in the third quarter. The Bills would drive 94 yards and cap it off with a Devin Singletary touchdown. This game is 24-10 in the fourth quarter. And the pitcher who became known as much for flaunting the rules as he did for his 314 wins has died. Gaylord Perry, who spent years doctoring the baseball he threw, died at his home in South Carolina. He won the Cy Young Award in each league as he dared umpires to catch him with any foreign substances. The Hall of Famer was 84 years old. Mike, my favorite story about him is that he wrote a book about throwing a spitball while still playing. Of course, the spitball still outlawed.
Yeah. All right, Holden, thank you. Well, faster fast food, the Golden Arch's new idea to pick up the pace in the drive-thru. McDonald's is testing out a new restaurant concept in Texas. It features a drive-thru of the future where your food comes on a conveyor belt and more curbside pickup spots. The Golden Arches is hoping to pick up the pace. Drive-thru times are now 45 seconds slower compared to the pre-pandemic days. What do you get when you mix Pepsi and milk? You get Pilk, the favorite drink of Laverne DeFazio. That was Penny Marshall's character on Laverne and Shirley. Now the soft drink is asking people to try it and share their thoughts on social media. You can win a cash prize. Lindsay Lohan is the spokesperson for the online contest. No, thank you, Jim. A weather alert day tomorrow. Let's check in one more time.
We used to try that because of Laverne and Shirley.
And it does not sound good at all.
No, you know, it's okay when you're a kid.
Yeah.
All right, so weather-wise, it is going to be windy for tomorrow. A gust to about 45 miles an hour. Hopefully not any higher, because the wind above us is actually really strong, stronger than 45 miles an hour, but we're expecting that mixing down to the surface to be only about 45 miles an hour. But still, that could cause some scattered power outages, and that's from noon until 9 p.m. Wind advisory widespread, and that weather alert day is because of the wind. And of course, that east-west travel across really Interstate 70 is going to be very difficult because the wind is going from due south to due north. So those scattered power outages also an issue. And here's the 10-day forecast. We're colder Saturday, Mike, 43.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next. Adam Sandler is Jimmy's guest. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.